Hey guys, what's up? This is Pokemon Classics reminding you that the classics never go out of style. Hey, today I'm preparing my next PSA order submission, and this one's about 30 cards. I haven't counted, I'm not sure exactly how many it is, but I wanted to showcase some of those cards, some of the stories behind them, and some of the unique observations about their artwork, their history, data points. So if nothing else, this is a good record for me of what cards I've been submitting to PSA, and I thought maybe you guys would enjoy seeing this. So let's take a look at some of these cards that are going to PSA. I'm saying goodbye. I realize I probably won't see them for 6 months, 8 months, a year, 5 years, who knows. They still have my order from July on this year, so we're going on 5 months now. Anyway, let's switch over and take a look at some of these. First one is a really difficult card to find in good condition. In fact, I don't think there's a single PSA 10 of the pre-release Clefable. So I don't know if you guys can see it really, but down here there's the pre-release stamp. And pre-release Clefable is notorious for having edge wear on the back. This one is no different. Those corners. It's how the cards were cut when they came out of the release, the machine. They just mangled those corners. Devastation. Anyway, with all that said, this card could still achieve a PSA 7, maybe a PSA 6 at the lowest. It's a pretty highly sought after card, very difficult to find, very difficult to grade. Next up, I've got a pair of Charizards. I actually have a bunch of unlimited Charizards, but these ones are in pretty good condition, and so these ones I wanted to grade in the higher service level. You can never go wrong with Charizard. Yeah, I know the prices are retracing a bit on Charizard, but that's not going to scare me away from grading Charizards that are in pretty good condition. These I would say are probably an 8, probably for this one on the left. This one, due to a little bit of edge wear, maybe a 7. Still could theoretically pull the 8, but I think that would be a little bit too ambitious. A little too optimistic on those. Following our theme of Charizards, I also have this really good condition, Shadowless Charizard. I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you already know the difference between the two, but the unlimited variant of Charizard does have this drop shadow over on the side, and then the Shadowless version was an earlier print run, and the Shadowless Charizard doesn't have the shadow on it. They're more desirable, they're rarer, they're harder to find. This one is in really good shape. Check out the backside. That's not on the card. Little bit of edge wear at the top, couple of dots, various points. I would say this one's probably a PSA 8. I suppose it has the potential to get a 9. I would feel that it's a low 9 if that were the case. I would rather just call it an 8. I'm a pretty tough grader, and even on my own cards, I don't want to be overly optimistic. I prefer to plan for the worst, hope for the best. To me, that's an 8. Next up, from first edition base set, we have a Mewtwo. This Mewtwo is in really good shape. Look at that hollow sparkle. Again, a card that I would expect to get an 8. There is an occasional dot or two of edge wear on the back. The front has a print line on it on the hollow. You can't really see it through the case and through the sleeve, but I don't know. Maybe you can catch it on the camera there. It's right through the side, right in here. Looking like a PSA 8 in my eyes. Same with the Zapdos. The Zapdos could potentially be a 9. This one's darker holofoil. No noticeable scratches. Centering's pretty good. Backside looks really good. Again, though, there is a little bit of edge wear down in the corner. In my mind, probably a PSA 8. This card I've showed off in a video before, and I don't know if PSA is going to grade this or how they're going to label it, but some people are familiar with the Cigar Error Hitmonlee. Has like these streaks on the side. And on the sheet, there were actually a few haunters that also have this error, and this is the most pronounced one I have ever seen. So when I saw this for sale on eBay years ago, I had to jump on that. Such a unique card. So it's actually like stained and printed into the card itself. And this one's in really good shape too. Again, I would probably consider this a PSA 8, potentially a 9. There's a little bit of edge wear down in the corner, up here at the top. But besides that, it's really good. I have no idea what something like this is worth. I know that it's one that I'm interested in adding to my personal collection. I don't know. Have you guys ever seen anything like this? Let me know in the comments if you're familiar with any sales data or rarity about the error haunter, the stain haunter. Again, some people have called it the cigar error, even though that's a misnomer. That's not really what the cigar error is, but for our purposes, I guess we'll call it that. Next up, I have a holographic Dark Charizard. I've graded a bunch of these in the past. This one I've held off on grading just because it was part of a binder set. And with card prices being what they are and Charizards going up in value, I figured, you know what, let's take it out of the binder, let's submit it, let's get it graded. Roughly mint condition, again, 8-9 range probably. You can tell the centering side to side on the back is pretty bad. It's good on the front though. I don't know, we'll see what happens with that one. Next up, we have Blaine's Charizard. Again, this one was same situation, part of a binder set. Not the best condition one I've ever had, so definitely not a 10, but should fall in that 8 to 9 range somewhere. You can tell there's very little edge wear on the back. Got a clean hollow. Really nice card. Next up, we have some Lugias. Now, I had a bunch of Lugias that I had graded over the years. I've probably had like 15 different first edition Lugias. Most of them I've sold. I actually graded 2 10s. I think I've gone through like 7 9s, maybe 4, 5 8s. And these are the last few that I still have in my collection that are worth grading. My guess is these will fall in the 7 to 9 range for each one. That one's got a swirl. Lugia, definitely the most iconic Pokemon of Generation 2. A lot of sparkle on these. Such a unique artwork too. Got like the different colors in the background blending together. The yellow from the Zapdos, the blue from the Articuno, the red from the Moltres. They're all there. So I have 4 of those. Let you see the back sides quick on these. Really clean. Really clean. Dot or 2 of edge wear on that one. And again, pretty clean cards. Those are tough to find, and again, I just figured that since they're sitting here in my collection, I might as well get them graded now. Might sell some of them, I might not, I haven't really decided for sure. Definitely one of my favorite cards, though, from the Neo series. Speaking of cards that are tough to decide what to do with, Typhlosion, baby. T-17, the meme maker himself. I have a bunch of T-17s. Typhlosion, 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 Typhlosion. Ooh, that one's got a swirl too. Now I'm going to tell you straight up, none of these are going to get a 10. Highly doubt it. The reason I have so many of these is back in the day, when I was working on my Neo Genesis PSA 10 set, T-17 here was one of the only cards that I needed to finish that set. In fact, still to this day, I need Slowking and I need Typhlosion, and I can't find those anywhere. So back in the day, I would buy up every mint condition Typhlosion I could find, every mint condition Slowking I could find, in the hopes of sending them off and finding that one that's worthy of a 10 to fit into my personal collection. That is yet to happen. I still can't find one that's free of print lines. The print lines are killer in the Neo Genesis set. Nevertheless, I would say that each of these is probably a PSA 8 or PSA 9 in condition, and it's worth sending them out. Like, they've just been sitting around, so might as well get them graded. So you can see, like, most of them backs are pretty clean, but even one dot of edge wear is going to take it out of contention for a PSA 10. And really the issue with these is they all have at least one factory issued print line across them. Most of them have several print lines, and that's totally common for Typhlosion 17. That's why it's so low population. That's why it's so difficult to grade. That's why it's so desirable. Yeah, this one you can tell the edge wear right on the top. Definitely going to take it out of contention for a PSA 10, which is fine. I'm not expecting any 10s on these. It's really depressing, though, when you get a card with a clean backside and you get to the front and it looks great, only to find out that there's a print line going through it. It's like, it's not really a condition issue. That's a factory printing issue. Can't control it. That's part of the fun of collecting, is you have to adapt to the market. You have to continue the chase, continue searching, finding those one cards that you just still need for your collection. And it's really an adrenaline rush when you're able to get that one card that you've been searching so hard for. Some of these cases are a little bit dusty. You know what? We can't just do T-17. Let's also throw in a Typhlosion 18. So here's number 18. This one was part of a binder set. Really good condition here. Probably a 9 would be my guess. 10 would be great though. See, generally I've saved cards that I didn't think were a 10 into the binder set. Then the ones that I thought had the possibility of a 10 have already been sent off to PSA. And so the ones that are coming from the binder occasionally grade a 10, but more often than not, there's one flaw, whether it's a dot of edge wear or a print line, precluding it from that grade. That's why I've put it into a binder. Next up, we've got a pair of Espeons from Neo Discovery. For those of you that are Eevee collectors and like the evolutions of Eevee, Neo Discovery was like the best set ever then, because it came with this Espeon, and really the Umbreon in the set is the knockout favorite. Both of these really solid condition. My guess would be 9s. Again, occasional print line or dot of edge wear, making them anything but flawless, but pretty close. Next up, we have the Umbreon, chilling with that big moon in the background. Such an iconic card. Probably the best card in that set, in my personal opinion. And this one I'm guessing will probably be a PSA 9. Next up, we'll hit it off with the legendary dogs from Neo Revelation. 2 Entei's. Probably PSA 9s on these. Maybe an 8. I mean, this one has a little bit of edge wear, so 8's maybe a more realistic grade. We got this one. Both beautiful, though. And we need some more legendary dogs, so next we'll get the Raikou. He was always my favorite of the 3. I don't know why, I just really like the electric type. I think it's like the tusks that he has. The Thunderbolt tail. On the backside, looking pretty clean. No major damage or edge wear. And probably 9s on those. Then we have the water one, Suicune. 2 of those, so 2 of each of the legendary dogs. A lot of hollow sparkle there. Neo Revelation, what a difficult set to grade that is. If you guys ever look through the population report on Neo Revelation, be prepared for some revelations of your own, because those are notoriously difficult to grade. Little dot of edge wear on this one in the corner. Same with that one. Yeah, and probably 9s. Next up, we've got a couple from Neo Destiny. Starting with Shining Kabutops. This one's also come out of a binder set. Really good centering on this. I think there was something on here, though, that made me think, yeah, down in the corner. I don't know if you can see that little dot of edge wear there down in the left corner. Probably making it a 9. Same with the top left corner. Little dot of edge wear. The Shining cards are generally not that difficult to grade. They're not as susceptible to hollow scratching since it's just the Pokemon part that's holographic. And it's really more like that embossed holographic. So, still got to watch out for the edge wear though, the centering. Those are all things that could dock it down to a 9 or below. Next up, we got the Shining Steelix. We got to get some dust off these cards. It's not on the card itself. Shining Steelix is probably the least favorite out of the Shining series. At least for me. I know that the prices generally reflect that as well. But one that is maybe not the favorite, but a close favorite, Shining Mewtwo. Look at that. Just reflect the camera light right back at you. Yeah, so the energy status on these Shining cards, really wild, makes them very unplayable back in the day, which probably resulted in more of them being saved and the condition being better. This one I'm interested to see what it comes back as, because the centering's not perfect, but the card looks really good otherwise. Again, hoping for a 9. 10 would be great, but I never try to take a 10 for granted. Don't like to assume 10s. Last up, we have a first edition base, Chansey. This one's in kind of rough shape. And when I say rough shape, I mean like maybe a 6, 7, somewhere in there. And generally, I wouldn't grade cards that are below an 8. But with first edition base, that's the exception. And Chansey's a really cool card. It's one I've had for a long time. You can see there's some rough edge wear throughout the corners, the edges, the top corner. Still, though, despite the edge wear and some of the surface scratching on the card, still a really nice card. There's no bends, no creases. So because of that, I think that makes this one worthy of grading. Anyway, guys, that's the PSA submission. I'll let you guys know when it comes back. It's probably going to be a while. I know PSA's got their backlog. Still waiting on my order from July. 260 cards there. But it'll be exciting when they come back. And like I said, been sitting on some of these cards for a while, so it's just good to get them encased, get them graded, and maybe there'll be some surprises along the way. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this one. Again, I'm Pokemon Classics. Thank you guys for joining me for this. And remember, the classics never go out of style. We'll see you guys next time.